the President, William Samoei Ruto, to both houses of Senate and National Assembly. And Mr. Speaker, from the very onset, I want to say that I was not very happy. Mr. Speaker, I was not very happy because I did not get what I wanted to get from the President. Mr. Speaker, I expected the President to address the issue which the majority leader is saying should not bother us, which is the cost of living. Mr. Speaker, the cost of living is a very, very emotive issue in our country today, and it is an issue which we cannot wish away. Whether we like it or not, it is an issue which must be addressed squarely, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the President talked about national values. The national values which he's talked about, I think should be done in a practical way, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, if you look at the records or the happenings, Mr. Speaker, you recall not very long ago, when our people were going for demonstrations, and they were going for demonstrations using the nationally provided or provisions in the Constitution of the right of Kenyans to demonstrate, to picket, and to hold public rallies. Mr. Speaker, the police came out to, first of all, demand that we get permission. The question of permits,
what is your point of order?
Mr. Speaker, I hope I'm not going to be unnecessarily disrupted by
your time will be frozen. Your time will be frozen. You will not lose your time.
Whom I respect very much, but
Senator Boni.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise on Standing Order number 105 to challenge the Senator of Siaya, who is my good neighbor back home in Luanda Doho and Luanda Dudi, to retract his statement that the President disappointed him because he never mentioned the cost of living. Mr. Speaker, is in order, knowing that in bullet 15, bullet 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20, the President was talking about, and more specifically, Mr. Speaker, sir, the President told the country that he has established 22 new fish landing sites in the counties of the Lake region and the coast. Is he in order, Mr. Speaker? And went further to say that he has established management units and cooperatives and hatcheries, especially, Mr. Speaker, a hatchery at Kaponyo and Shimoni. Is he in order to mislead the public?
Senator Oburu.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I'm asking my brother, Honorable Halwale, to be patient with me so that I can finish what I'm saying. Mr. Speaker, I did not say that he did not mention about the cost of living. What I'm saying is that he did not offer any solutions, which in my view, in Halwale's views, he offered them. In my own view, he did not. In my own view, he did not at all, Mr. Speaker, because those things he's talking about, like those beaches, the what, you know, Mr. Speaker, you don't transform a business management unit into a cooperative and you say you have helped the people. Those are management units which are meant to regulate the fishing.
Senator Oburu, there is a point of order, and please bear attention to the chair.
Mr. Speaker, I don't know why these people
proceed.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I'm standing under Standing Order number 98. I am standing under Order Standing number 98. Mr. Speaker, 98. Mr. Speaker, you had given direction, and I want to say you need to use your powers of Standing Order 121, because you have clearly directed that let us restrict over and again our argument, our reasoning, our presentation within the confines of the State of the Nation address by the President. Mr. Speaker, I want to request even the table office to provide for free both soft and hard copy to members so that they can restrict, Mr. Speaker. Is it in order for Senator Oburu Oginga, the youth leader, to mislead the House and defy your ruling? Mr. Speaker, I request that you kick in standing order number 121 for disorderly conduct and be thrown out, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Oburu, and listen to the chair, Senator Oburu. Now, earlier on you were in the House when the chair made a ruling to the effect that our debate should be confined to the speech by the President. I know in the course of your contribution, you might say comments outside the speech, but I would like you to make sure that it's within the spirit of the speech by the President and also be parliamentary language. Proceed, Senator Oburu.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I'm trying to do my best to confine myself within the speech. But, Mr. Speaker, these people on the other side are not being patient at all. Mr. Speaker, they are not being patient, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, because, okay, Honorable Cherargei, please be patient. The Honorable, okay, I withdraw that. I've said Honorable Cherargei. Honorable Cherargei, please listen. I'm restricting myself to what the President said. The President talked about national values. And when he talked about national values, I'm relating it to what happened to us. In relation to national values, his own officers are not keeping national values. They send police to kill people when they are exercising their democratic rights. And Mr. Speaker, yes, and that's, Mr. Speaker, that's what I'm saying. Mr. Speaker, secondly, the President said when one of his achievements was to pay the judiciary 3 billion shillings. When he took over.
Senator Mandago.
Mr. Speaker.
You have not sought for Senator Oburu.
Yeah.
Just take your seat.
Honorable Speaker, I would not have wished to interrupt Senior, and Senior knows I have a lot of tremendous respect for him. But as per Standing Order 105, Honorable Speaker, is it in order for him, for Senator Oburu to say the government sent the police to kill people? Is it in order, Mr. Speaker? And if that is so, can he provide evidence of a command, Honorable Speaker?
Senator Oburu, your statement, Senator Oburu.
That people were killed by police.
Senator Oburu, it's good to listen to the chair. I wanted to invite you to also make comments as to whether the government sent police indeed, if that is what you meant.
Yes. Mr. Speaker, can you repeat?
To kill people.
That is the obvious. If the government...
Can Senator Oburu be heard in silence? Senator Osotsi,
yeah,
you are not on the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I have stated that in fact, Mr. Speaker, if you heard the IG, he specifically said that the opposition had hired dead bodies from the mortuaries and displayed them as dead bodies. Mr. Speaker, that was a very serious statement. But Mr. Speaker, let me go to the next point. Mr. Speaker, I also did not take very kindly one of the achievements in the speech where the President stated that 3 billion shillings was paid to the judiciary. Mr. Speaker, I don't know, it would have been paid in good faith, but my take is that perhaps it was a thank you for the rulings which they made during the petitions. Mr. Speaker, the President also spoke about fairness.
Senator Oburu, order. Proceed, Cherargei.
Mr. Speaker, standing on, can I invite, is the President in bullet number 11 said he appointed 6 judges and enhanced allocation to judiciary by 3 billion. There is nowhere that the President saying he was paying 3 billion. Is this, and it is a black and white, Mr. Speaker. Is he alleging that judiciary has been bribed by the executive, Mr. Speaker? He should withdraw and apologize not only to Kenyans but to judiciary. Budget by maybe 10 billion. Why is Senator Oburu hell-bent to mislead the House? Is it to score quick political gains, Mr. Speaker?
Senator Oburu, before I give you the mic, I also want to bring to your attention the provisions of Standing Order 101. And I'll read, because this is serious. Neither the personal conduct of the President, nor the conduct of the Speaker or of any judge, nor the judicial conduct of any other person performing judicial functions, nor any conduct of the head of state or government or the representative in Kenya or any friendly country, or the conduct of the holder of an office whose removal from such office is independent upon a decision of the Senate shall be reverted to adversely except upon a specific substantive motion. I direct you, Senator Oburu, to withdraw the reference to the payment to the judiciary and proceed to conclude on your contributions.
Mr. Speaker, sir,
Senator Eddy,
where,
you are a very poor learner. You have previously been informed as to how you get the attention of the Speaker. I have not. Senator Oburu, proceed.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I think, Mr. Speaker, you have ruled that I should stick to discussing the speech by the President. Mr. Speaker, this particular clause of paying 3 billion shillings was by the President, Mr. Speaker. Am I discussing the person of the President, or I'm discussing the speech of the President?
Senator Oburu, it was not a payment to judiciary.
No,
it is
he said that his government paid 3 billion shillings. The government paid 3 billion shillings. Not him personally, but the government paid it. So, no, not the President. It is in his speech that the government gave 3 billion shillings.
Senator Oburu, Senator Eddy is on a point of order. Proceed, Senator Eddy.
Mr. Speaker, I am on point of order number 1, actually. Yes. Mr. Speaker, I'm on point of order number 1. I mean, standing order number 1, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I have been here the entire of this afternoon. And the substantive speaker, noticing that sometimes there are frivolous point of orders being raised in this House, Mr. Speaker, made a judgment that sometimes let a senator proceed to conclude, Mr. Speaker. I mean, the kind of ranking and respect that I give to the majority leader is stature, the position he holds in this House, the leadership that he holds in this House. You know, when he was speaking, it could not be interfered with frivolous point of orders. And I agree with it. But in the same manner, Mr. Speaker, Senator Oburu Oginga, Mr. Speaker, is a serious ranking member of this House, Mr. Speaker. But I find it, Mr. Speaker, can I be heard in silence? Can I be heard in silence, Mr. Speaker?
Senator Eddy to be heard.
I find it, Mr. Speaker, grossly out of order.
Please.
I find it grossly out of order, Mr. Speaker, when every single opinion that the senator expresses on this particular speech, Mr. Speaker, is going to be interrupted by frivolous point of orders from the other side, Mr. Speaker. I beseech you, Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the ranking member, that let him finish.
And take your seat. Your
Yes.
point of order is taken.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, the members Senator Cherargei, Senator Chimera, and Majority Leader allow Senator Oburu to conclude on his debate. Proceed, Senator Oburu.
Now, Mr. Speaker, I move to the next point.
Order, members. Order, members. Order, members. Senator Boni, order, please.
Mr. Speaker, I move to the next point which I want to make. Mr. Speaker, this is on taxation. Mr. Speaker, the burden of taxation is too high. And the President, who is my colleague, former colleague, knows very well that when we came into government together with him in 2002, personally I was not there, but I came in 1990. He adopted a policy. And I want the Majority Leader to listen to this, because he's saying we offer constructive recommendations. Mr. Speaker, the policy of taxation must be taken very seriously. Mr. Speaker, the policy which we adopted, and I believe it is the one which we should use now, was that we lower the levels of taxation, but we expand the tax base. And then we close all the loopholes for corruption, all the loopholes for leakages. Then once you do that, Mr. Speaker, the revenue will go up. Introducing those taxes are not Kenyans. Mr. Speaker, within less than 2 years, the revenue was 480 billion, and the economy was growing negatively when Moi left. But within less than 2 years, Mr. Speaker, the revenue had shot up from that to 1 trillion shillings, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we were not complaining that the previous regime had done this, they had done this, they had done their mess, but that was not our concern. Our concern was how to revive the economy, what we should do to revive the economy. And we did it. So, Mr. Speaker, I want the government to take this matter seriously. Just don't complain, but let us find a way. Let us find a way of help. You find people ransacking your luggage because you have bought something which is more than this. There's something more than this. We want to introduce the old systems, Mr. Speaker, which even jailed people for foreign currency. For a small amount of money, Honorable Uproar was jailed for coming without declaring $100 for 1 full year. Mr. Speaker, that is one issue which I think we should for Forex. Mr. Speaker, Forex is a very, very good indicator of how the economy is performing. And Mr. Speaker, when we say that we cannot reduce the cost of fuel.
Senator Boni, what's your point of order?
It is true we are on the President's speech. It's true it is difficult for the Senator of Siaya to differentiate between talking about the conduct of the President and speaking to his speech. We can give that to him. But when he says what judges of the Court of Appeal,
I did say
Mr. Speaker, and you directed that he should withdraw that remark. It is important for the integrity of this Senate that that remark is withdrawn from Hansard. So the next time, the judges of the High Court, who include Migori, for information, Justice Ouko, who was the president of the Court of Appeal, You cannot suggest that even if we don't like the president, our judges were bought. Let him retract that particular response, and then we go ahead.
Point taken, Senator
Okay, Mr. Speaker, even though I didn't say exactly those words Honorable Alwale is saying, if he thinks I said the president paid that money, which I didn't say that, but if that's the word you don't like, then I withdraw it. Okay. Okay. Okay, Mr. Speaker, foreign, I know you want the master to hear you. So, Mr. Speaker, the Forex is a very, very good indicator of the performance of the economy. And Mr. Speaker, sir, when this regime took power, the shilling was at 120 US dollars. And Mr. Speaker, sir, the dollar now has gone to 150, and it is weakening. Our shilling is weakening against our neighboring currencies, Mr. Speaker, not just against the dollar. And Mr. Speaker, we are saying that there is nothing we can do, that our hands are tied, and that whatever is happening here is happening because of the international economic situation. Mr. Speaker, this is not true. This is because, why is it the economy of Tanzania, which should be much inferior to us?
Senator, what's your point of order?
You know, this is a house of records. And this answer, what we say today, can be